disciplining a child, correcting a child, based on the fact that we are Africans, and as African, there's just no way you raise a child that you will not discipline the child, or you give birth to a child rather that you will not discipline the child. But now the question is, these days, discipline differs. In fact, there are now schools who advocate for not flogging children. You know, they say don't flog the children, just give them punishment and all that, and they'll be fine. So it differs. Some people have said, oh, it doesn't make sense, how would you not flog a child? While some people say, yeah, it's good, don't flog a child, you must not flog a child to correct the child. So we want to just ask a very simple question this afternoon. What do you think is the best way to discipline a child? Some people will say don't flog the child, some people will say flog the child, some people will say just punish. Different things for different people. Which one do you think would work best? And when we say work best, that the child would
learn the lesson.
Will learn the lesson. Yes, at the end of the day, the child would learn the lesson and pick the correction. So, what is the best way to discipline a child? And if you're a parent out there listening to us, we'll really be glad if call in and let us know what's the best way to discipline a child. If you're not the person who flogs, tell us what way. If you're the person who flogs,
tell us what way.
How do you keep it to keep it at a balance, just so that you don't over discipline a child? Exactly. So that's the conversation this afternoon. Call us 007 777 9927 is the number to call, or send us a WhatsApp message. What is the best way to discipline a child? Victor, growing up, did they flog you? Just asking now.
Yes,
I'm just asking. What do you mean by
Like,
they didn't flog me.
They didn't flog you.
Just kidding. Yo, I'm kidding.
I want to say, you enjoy
Yo, I'm kidding.
Flog
I had a friend back then. It's actually from Edo State. This is my friend. He said when they want to deal with him, they don't beat him the way parents do. They wait till midnight. They go and wake you. Afaya, bring your book. any maybe the book is rumpled or whatever. No, okay, that's the number of cane that you get. But number of pages.
Oh my
or
God.
out of 50, it's called 0. That's 15 strokes.
Oh my
Mid
God.
of the night, so nobody can come and save you.
And then you flog the child.
I'm telling you.
Let us know.
Times have really changed.
Times have changed.
Times have really changed. Like these days, a lot of people are now seeing discipline in a different light. Back in those days, it was different.
Yeah.
But these days now, with technology now, social media now, even people suing their parents to court just because the parent hits them. A lot has changed. So that's why we are having this conversation today. How do you discipline a child now, with how things have changed, with how the world is moving? What is the right way to discipline a child? What is the best way to discipline your child? That's the conversation we're having today on the Lifestyle Lounge.
Yep.
Let us know. 0807 777 9927. That's the number to call, or send us a WhatsApp message.
Yes, we'll come back to get your call, receive your calls and your WhatsApp messages. But first, let's play you good music. This is coming from Simi, and she's singing to the cat. Don't touch your radio.
titled Glass House. You just have to give it to Nice. He has really held the Nigerian music scene down for a while during his own time. I mean, with the release of Congaso, with that song he did with Two-Face, Idibia, he has really been good. The only thing I didn't like about Nice was when he started doing his dreads and he sang that Living Things. I love Living Things, but I didn't just like Nice on dreads. But still, Nice is one of the musicians that you just have to give kudos to. He has been doing it so well for himself, and so far so good. Is one of our very good artists. It's the Flow FM 92.7, your go with the Flow station, and it is the Lifestyle Lounge segment. And today we are talking about discipline and how it relates with children. Back in the day, some mothers were so good at throwing slippers.
Hey.
It was so accurate.
I'm
like
telling
you could be there so far away and you'd be like, hey, mommy, I did not do it. The next you see,
She doesn't even need to
Water.
study physics. The angle.
very precise.
I'm telling you.
It go touch you. Bim. For some other people, it was using omorogun.
Yes.
To flog. Some other people, it was koboko. Some people, it was belt. Some people, it was hanger. Like hanger, they used to hang clothes. You know.
Oh God.
It
My
was,
mama to be that one.
some people, it was punishment. They'll tell you pick pin.
Hey.
They'll say knee down. They'll say carry bucket or carry blocks.
You've not even mentioned the bata of them all.
Which is
There's slippers, there's belt, there's all. But have you seen mothers use their hand?
Oh,
abara.
Their hand is like
Have
the
you heard of
natural
abara
fast. They will lost their hand on your face, on your body, everywhere.
If you have received a Yoruba woman's abara, hey,
Just
the middle of your back where your hand cannot reach.
As it reminds me of Taoma videos. You know, when she was making those videos, some people were actually against it.
Yeah.
You know, her critics were saying that you do not
hit a
child like that. But if you follow Taoma's skits, you could tell that she's telling the story in an African way.
The way it happens.
The way it happens, she just, if you do, they will just slap you.
And this ways we have mentioned, the slapping, the abara, the omorogun, you know, these were all ways that
What is
parents,
omorogun? Sorry.
Turning stick.
Turning
What
stick
used
for
to
Eba.
turn Eba, yes.
So these were all ways that parents in those days used to discipline their children, which according to them was the right way. I mean, some of these kids turned out to be very, very good. Some of them turned out to be very disciplined. Some of them turned out to be well-mannered. And parents of those days believed that yes, this was the right way. But times have changed. In this century that we are right now, if you hit your child, people will come at you that you are wicked, you are heartless. How can
Child
you beat
abuse.
Child
Child
abuse?
abuse,
How
yeah.
can you beat a child that you brought out from your own womb like that? Do you want to kill the child? They will say instead, take the child to a corner, talk to the child. If possible, buy him ice cream safe as you are talking, so that the thing will enter his head. They believe that your words now speak louder than action when it comes to discipline, and it is why we are bringing this conversation to you today. What is the best way to discipline a child now? Do you think that the way they did it back in those days was the right way, or do you think that now talking to your child is better, or do you believe it's collabo? You beat
exactly.
small,
And then you talk
you
small.
talk small.
Which one?
Which one? Let us know. 080-777-9927. That's the number to call or to send us a WhatsApp message. And also, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. On Facebook, you can go check us out at Flow FM NG, and on YouTube at Flow FM 927. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you guys? How are you doing?
We are very
doing
good.
very well.
Welcome to Flow FM 92.7. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ademola Rajumola.
Ademola. And where are you calling from?
Calling from Unity Alex.
New GRA.
Yeah,
Unity
area.
Access.
Okay,
Unity
okay,
area.
Okay, Unity area. All right. Ademola, please join the conversation. What is the best way to discipline a child?
You see, it's very difficult as a parent. You know, parenting is a very difficult thing. The way we are raised, our father, you understand, they don't care about happiness, then, you understand. The way they raise us, they want to flog you, they flog you, they don't give you a reason, you understand. So it depends. You grow up to hate your father sometimes. Later, you grow to learn the meaning of the way they discipline you. That fear of God, stuff like that, that fear of your dad. But nowadays, parenting has more than that, you know. So the way these our child are fast, they think fast. Before you know, when you see your child anyhow, they started hating you. They started, people outside, they start, you understand, influencing them up towards you. So for me, as a father, I'm a father.
Oh, lovely.
I have a 9-year-old girl.
Okay.
If I will discipline her, you understand, you have to be open. Openness. You have to be her see the reason for disciplining her or him. See what you are doing. And secondly, as a father, you have to be a role model. And you as a father, you are a drunkard, you understand? Or you beat your wife. And you want your child to be, it can't work, you know, it can't tango. So as a father, you have to be open first. Just don't come around and start shouting, beating your child, saying to God, but it won't work. That just, the child will always get used to it. So it's better my way of disciplining my child. Sometimes I'm not the kind of flog type, but the flog because it's allowed in Bible too.
Yes,
I can flog, I like. Yeah. But most time I prefer they understand.
Being open.
The discipline is already there. My children, they know me better. You know, it's body language. You understand? It's already. It started from the childhood, the way you raise your child. First of all, you have to be friends with your children. So they know your body language. When you're not happy, they know. So it's not about flogging, shouting, cigar, but no.
Okay.
Happy with that food.
Well,
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you so
That
much.
one.
Ademola from Unity.
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I mean, he gave three solid points for parents. Be open. He said, be a good role model
To your children.
and your body language. See that body. That's why I don't know the conversation we're having, but I was like, there's a way your mom will look at you
In public.
and
Eye
you just get
contact.
the message
Sharp.
immediately. Like they don't even need
Eye
to tell you.
contact. Just do like this. Or
They
they'll
don't need
shake
to-
their head like this.
You already know what is going on. You already know how to adjust. You as a child, you already know what to do. And this is back in those days.
Yeah.
Now these days, I don't even know if it is
People are
still
doing
like that.
what people do these days. They say, go and stand in the corner. Have you seen them punishing kids like go and stand in the corner for like nobody comes to talk to you. You stay there for.
It looks like what I've seen in a Hollywood movie. Say go to the corner, Benny, and go and think about what you've done.
I felt the same way when I saw them do that to one game. One day I was like, what is going on here? And the guy was sad though.
I wish they did that for me when I was young. I was like, hey, maybe not just go stand for corner. I go stand.
No, the idea that they use, behind that, the psychological idea is that when you isolate the child, nobody's talking to the child. They
Child will
feel bad about what
for
they've done.
That's actually the psychology.
And it
I
actually
think that
works.
works.
It
Yeah,
works.
The
that
reason
works
why
in a certain way.
the reason why you will like it is because you're an African child. But now let's go back to music, and when we come back, we'll take messages and more calls.
was No Forget coming from Adekunle Gold featuring See Me. I actually love that song. We're just talking off air about, the love triangle that existed back then with Fowles and Adekunle Gold and Simi in the middle. It was just,
there was no love triangle. We were the one that thought that there was a love triangle.
There was.
Fowles and Simi have always been friends, so they said. But
So
Fowles
they
and-
said.
but
I like that.
So they said,
I like that.
exactly.
it's just because they released chemistry together, which was making. Do you know? I think in 2018 I DM'd Fowles. I said, please, you should marry Simi. Who sent me?
We are spilling tea.
Anyways,
We are
I'm
spilling
telling you,
tea.
I remember. I'm telling you, it was so sweet to see. I was like, please, you have to marry this lady,
and
So
because.
that chemistry was so,
That chemistry album is
And then all of a sudden, the shock of our lives.
Boom,
was
Adekunle
Adekunle
Gold.
Gold.
They got married. Anyway,
Yo, I'm kidding.
we're happy for them. Anyway, thank God for their, marriage. I think they, it was Adekunle's birthday recently.
Yeah.
And the entire picture and the love in the air, everything like that. Anyway, that's not the conversation of today. We are in the Lifestyle Lounge segment of the Flow Rider Show. And today we are asking a question that throws us back, since today is, Throwback Thursday, a question that throws you back to when you were growing up. Especially if you grew up in Nigeria with your parents, Nigerian parents, their methods of discipline is unorthodox. It's not like the ones you watch on TV say, just stop that. No, mommy, I won't stop.
Your mama, no mommy.
No, mommy.
Like Sisi even does the skit as well. He will say, raising child abroad versus raising child in Nigeria.
Exactly. Say, mommy, shut up. In Nigeria, no head again.
Just write your will.
So the question we're asking today is, when you look back on life when you were growing versus life right now, society has changed over time. I mean, people these days are, embracing the Western way of correcting and rebuking and disciplining their child. And we're asking you that question today. What is the best way to discipline a child in this day and age? Do you still believe, spare the rod and spoil the child, or you feel that you don't need a rod to talk to the child? What is your own angle on that conversation? We want you to be a part of the conversation today. Shoot us a message on WhatsApp or call us directly here in the studio, 007-777-9927.
We have a message here. Good afternoon, Flo guys. This is Ario
afternoon.
from Tanke.
Ario.
Wow. Oh, Ario. Is that Ario?
Ario,
Yeah.
yes.
Why does it sound Ario? Like
Ario.
Okay.
Just very
Parents,
cool.
according to him, said parents don't need to flog children before they correct them. My mom would say, this is not good, Okomi. You need to stop it. Even if I was flogged, it would be minimal because I can't even remember. And that didn't make me a bad child. I began to live alone with my elder brother as from the age of 10 for secondary school and still didn't turn wayward.
Wow.
Overflogged children mostly become stubborn.
Stubborn ones.
Yeah, stubborn ones at last and result to menace. Now, flogging children is like training them to be strong enough to fight the society. Imagine using omorogun. That's
the
tonic stick on a child that you claim to love. These things hurt me when I see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Ario.
Thank you,
from
Ario.
Tanke. We really appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
So for Ario, he's saying flogging a child does not cut it at all. Now we have another message. Says the best way to discipline a child. He said 1, set clear boundaries and expectations.
Okay.
2,
Okay.
practice active listening.
Okay.
And this is coming from Kara Joseph from Tanke Okeodo.
Okay.
You want us to play you Ifunaya by P Square.
And
Yeah,
because of
This is, I don't know. He said we should set boundaries and expectations and to practice active listening.
Yeah.
Do African children understand?
active listening.
Maybe it's because we have not actually been given the chance to understand. I don't know if you get my point. We have actually not been. To most children who came from a family where they practiced active listening, and setting boundaries. Most of them grew up to be like good. They didn't grow up to be wayward or anything or weak.
I had a friend growing up who said something to me. He said in their family, right, like they all had their rooms.
Yeah.
So if their parents wanted to like enter their room, they would knock.
Okay.
And when they say no, don't come in, they won't come in.
Hey.
So I'm serious.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he told me this, and when I heard it, I'm like, really?
That happened in Nigeria, yeah.
Igbo boy. That was how he grew up. It was quite interesting. That was the first I ever heard. Like the parents respected their privacy so much. When they say don't come in, they won't come in. They'll not say, oh yeah, come and meet me later. Let me tell you what I want to tell you.
In my own house, we shared one room for the kids. It was a 3-bedroom flat. My dad had one, my mom had one, then the last one for us. If my dad pass and you see that your room is locked.
Badge
We
inside.
get paranoid.
You say that in my own house, you dey lock. Why you dey lock your door?
Your dad is a typical African man.
Why you dey lock your door?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
My name is Mr. Bukayo Saka from
Your name is what?
Tole. Mr. Bukayo Saka.
Oh, Mr. Bukayo Saka.
Yes, sir.
How's Hasna doing now? Anyway, Bukayo Saka, welcome to the show. This is Flow FM 92.7. We want you to contribute. So, what's your contribution, sir?
Oh.
Oh, come on.
All right.
Please
Please
call
call
us
us
back.
back.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
really want to
Lord.
hear from
I
you.
and I love the voice. No, my name is Bukayo Saka. Anyway,
08077779927. That's the number to still call or send us a WhatsApp message to be part of the conversation. If there's one thing I want all of us to agree on, or something that I feel everybody we agree on, is the fact that discipline is good for every child. Irrespective of what people might say, you disciplining your child is good. But the thing now is that how do you now discipline the child?
yes.
What methods do you use? to
effective
discipline?
method?
Now that is the conversation we are having today, and we want to hear from you. If you're a parent, what ways have you used on your child that has worked? Or if you now, as the child, what ways did your parents use on you that you felt, okay, what my parent did when it comes to discipline, I like it, and I'm going to take it. Let us know. 0807
There was this method my mom used to use that I know I wouldn't use
Okay.
for my
Okay.
own children.
Yeah.
My mom, when she's angry at you, she will yell. And her
Oh.
voice is sharp. I think that's where I got this. Her voice is sharp. If she's yelling like this, my brain is going.
Wow.
I'm like, no, stop shouting, stop. But I cannot tell her to stop shouting.
In the middle of the
So
anger.
if there's one way for me, discipline for me, it doesn't include yelling.
Okay.
If you are yelling, for me, it doesn't just
Do anything.
Yeah,
sit
I
well.
actually agree with you.
So,
I agree with you.
one thing I know I wouldn't want to do to my children, and
Is
when I
yell,
see parents doing, I'm like, why are you shouting? This was how I was. I didn't want to shout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like yelling is not part of it, but you see flogging. We'll talk about that when we come back from the break.
This one is Adekunle Gold. He's singing "Money Don't Touch Your Radio."
it used to be like the cute baby of now. Our star has taken over that baby though. Yeah, that was Corey DeBello singing God Win. That was a hit song that dropped like 2015
I think,
thereabout. I think even churches were playing this song.
This guy was performing in churches, not like
it was just everywhere. Well, it's still Flow FM 92.7. You're good with the Flow station. It is the Flow Rider Show, and we're still in the lounge. We're having a very interesting conversation about discipline. See, I don't even know that. Like, the conversation is, I wish you could hear everything we're saying off air, but it's even deeper than how we're saying it now.
I'm telling you.
Deeper,
we just realized that all of us, as Nigerian children,
we have similar upbringing.
In a very similar upbringing, which is really quite funny. And I feel like it's really important we have these conversations. Before we went on that break, I talked about yelling, how my mom used to yell, like she would just shout at you, which is something I don't. That is a discipline. I don't see that as discipline, because for me, then when you yell at me, I'll be more confused.
Yes, terrified.
What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to carry the water or leave it? You know. But yeah, we're asking you, what is the best way to discipline a child now that times have changed? Technology is here, social media is here. What is the way? And one way people also discipline their children is they call it like you are grounded.
Yes,
give me your phone. Do this.
Okay.
Don't leave the house.
Don't
Always
leave the house. Exactly. So, which is one way. Which brings me to this message that Cassandra sent. Let me read her message. Hey, Benny baby. Hello. Hello, Uncle Emmanuel. And as for Uncle Monkhan, we're beefing. And she put an emoji of,
we're beefing. Cassandra, me and you like this. If I catch you.
Whiskey and Davido FC.
So, she says, for the question of the day, I believe a more effective way to discipline a child right now is deprivation. Kids of this generation enjoy certain benefits, amenities, and opportunities that we didn't have while growing up. If you deprive them access to their phones, for example, their favorite TV program, their cartoon or animation, or even taking them out of their favorite parks and outings, I believe that would hurt more than flogging them once and it's over. I'm not saying that to flog them once in a while when the situation calls for it, but deprivation would send a deeper message than flogging would. So she's trying to say that you should just deprive them, but then flog them once in a while where is necessary. But collect their phones and say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to watch this. And I think my sister used to do that for my nephew. The time she doesn't want to subscribe the TV just so that the boy can focus a little. I think it happens to most people. So yeah, Cassandra, thank you so much for that message. Thank you.
Seizing your kids' phone or not letting them watch their favorite cartoon or something. Yeah, I think that it worked for me too, because I used to love Tarzan and
Tarzan and Jane.
Yeah, Tarzan and Jane. I used to love it, and my dad knew we loved Tarzan and Jane. So whenever we are not doing something, it would just seize the cassette. No more Tarzan and Jane for anybody. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine, sir. I'm fine, sir.
That's good. Welcome to Flow FM 92.7. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from Tanke.
Michael, calling from Tanke. How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing fine, sir.
I like that.
And you too?
We are good, though. Thanks for asking. So please, join the conversation, Michael. What's the best way to discipline a child?
My mother ground me and seized my phone for a month.
Wow.
Ooh. And how did that affect you? Like, did it make you not want to do that thing again, or did it make you more rebellious?
It made me more studying my book.
Okay, more obedience then.
Okay, that's good. That means it was effective.
It was effective then.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Wow. Yeah, it's good. And I really needed to ask that question because for some people, when you do that to them, the kids, they become really angry.
Yeah.
Some of them go start breaking things because I've seen videos of when you correct a child, and the next thing you know, the child is so angry, start breaking things.
My brother, he has not come to my house. Hey, they'll deliver him sharp. Come here, Papa.
And now, there was a point I made off air, which is that back in those days, and even Benny was buttressing on it as to the reason why this was actually true. Because back in those days, to be very sincere, kids were stubborn.
Oh, yes.
Very stubborn.
Very, very stubborn. It's not like now that we now have social media that your child can just decide to stay at home to just be on the phone.
Yeah.
I think I saw a meme that they're saying now they are forcing kids to go outside these days.
Yeah,
back in those days, you don't even need to force your kid.
He was already outside.
It's outside already. So now, with technology coming out now, most kids are like, okay, since there's phone, I'll just start home. But back in those days, there was no phone, no technology. You had to go outside to have fun.
Have fun.
Typically. So people were stubborn.
It's
I
true.
mean,
It's
kids
true.
were stubborn.
I
So-
mean, I played football, so
Football
I
is
lost.
something, especially the boy
Yeah, for
child.
guys.
I'm telling you,
Football, oh
I
my
lost
God.
my toenail. I didn't even know.
Wow.
I'm telling you, my pinky toe, I lost the nail. I didn't know until the following morning when my dad was actually bathing me. And then he just looked at me like, what is this?
What happened?
And that was when I
You not
realized, I said,
realize it?
it's paining me too.
Wow.
I mean, like just so rough. So
Yeah.
let me ask you guys this question. Has your mom ever like done either of these two things? Either number one, maybe they didn't give you what they call that thing, pocket money. Maybe because you did something the previous day, they did not give you pocket money, or they do mandatory fasting.
No,
Until
I
their
didn't.
pocket money.
I didn't grow up with that one. You see that fasting. My mom she will yell at you, but you eat.
Ah,
But
Oh.
no, she didn't. I didn't grow up that. I've heard parents who do that for their kids.
mandatory
Like, you know what?
fasting. Yeah,
My
fasting.
stepmom was like, my stepmom will like, she will never use like food to
To
punish you or
punish
anything.
you, yeah.
But you see that pocket money, they no go give
They will
you.
not give you.
She go seize them. Yeah.
Spare the rod and spoil the child. Now my mama almost used chemo. The rod must. The rod must literally spoil before she knows say your hair don't correct.
Wow.
I've been stubborn, Sha. Now
Uh-huh.
I'm a lot calmer though.
Wow.
That's good.
But let me ask this question.
Who's that
I'm
coming from?
I'm trying to. Okay, this is Vincent from Tanke.
Okay,
Oh.
Vincent. Yeah, he said the road.
The rod almost spoiled.
He said the rod almost spoil. Like your mama go just deal with you. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean they were stubborn back then. Yeah, and you really
Honestly.
cannot blame parents. And another thing I'm going to say is that education wasn't as it is now. Most parents back then were not as educated as the parent of
Now.
this day, and some of them didn't know better,
Yes.
and that was why they behaved that
The way
way.
they did.
Some of them did, but these days a lot of parents now know better, and that's why they are doing better.
But let me ask you one question, guys. Now, this is still in line with the question we're asking anyway. The question now is, do you think that the methods our mothers and fathers used to discipline us, do you think it was very effective? Like on you now personally, introspectively, do you think it was effective?
For me, I'll say yes.
For me too. So I think it was very, very effective. Now, not everything, of course,
Yeah,
but
not
the
everything.
core of the
Yeah.
discipline worked.
so for me too, it worked,
It
and I
worked.
think that's the purpose of discipline at the end of the day. For you to know that if my mom was here, no, she wouldn't want me to do this. I'm not
Yes.
gonna do it
At all.
because I will know the kind of beating I would get. You know, if I was at
Exactly.
home. So that's the purpose of
Yeah.
discipline at the end of the
Exactly.
day, to make sure that those core values they put it in you.
Are instilled or
Yeah,
impressed
exactly.
or flogged into
And
you.
for someone like me that I didn't grow up with my mom, I grew up with my stepmom. Now, normally you would expect your stepmom to really not care about you or
Yes,
to
like
be
the
wicked.
Nigerian film way. Yeah.
But my own stepmom, oh my god,
Wow.
it was from her I learned that body language of eating.
Yeah.
Because then my dad loves like children, so he spoils us to a fault, to a fault. My stepmom realized that whenever visitors were around in the parlor,
People are
we
misbehaving.
are always there. We were always looking at
Waiting
their
for pocket money.
Oh.
when there was a particular time the visitors now left, like when she started, the visitor left. My dad went, he saw them off. She just called me and my senior brother because then she hadn't given birth then. She just cut off and say, next time visitor is in this parlor.
Which is a good
Discipline,
training.
of course.
It's a good training.
My stepmom now, I was telling it yesterday. Anytime we go to the village, and my stepmom is there, she's always looking at.
Yes.
Looking out.
The only thing she needs to tell you is with her eyes. The way she will look at you, you go, no, it's
So
okay,
you get the
you're
picture.
messing up.
Yeah.
You are messing up. You need to correct yourself. So yeah, it was actually very good. Those disciplines of those days, yeah, they were good. They were good.
Man, this has been a very, very, amazing, and it's a throwback, giving this throwback vibe as
Telling
we're
you.
talking about it. And we're still here anyway. We're still taking the question: what is the best way to discipline a child now? And let's go on this music break, and when we come back, we'll take more calls and more texts on WhatsApp. This is coming from Lagbaja, and he's singing Akebaje. Don't.
1990, coming from Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Yep, as she calls it, Unkumboti. It's a very beautiful song.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Yes, this is the Flow FM 92.7. You're good with the Flow station. It is the Flow Rider Show. And yeah, we're still in the lounge. We're discussing what is the best way to discipline a child, seeing that times have changed and, discipline has evolved too from what we used to know, from the beating, the spanking, the knocking. There's something they used to call, do you know this thing they call bone they call it bone shack when I was in secondary school.
What?
I don't know how to explain it to you, but they'll tell you to bend your back, and then they'll use the elbow and hit you on your back. Yes, my seniors did that in school. Disciplining a child is a conversation. Then bullying is another conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Disciplining a child, but you are bullying the child in the process is another conversation. But that's not what we're talking about this afternoon. But we want to hear from you. What is the best way to discipline a child? If you're a parent, we really appreciate if you also jump in on the conversation, because you have practical example right now with children and all that. It'll really be beautiful. But yeah, you can still call us live in the studio 0807 777 9927, or you can send us a WhatsApp message. Emmanuel was asking something off air. He was like, but wait, how am I going to discipline my child? That was right.
Serious? No.
That's
it's
like a very valid question.
I think about it sometimes. Like, how would I do that?
With the way things are going now.
My
telling
brother.
you.
Like, because know how where that child no go chop. Come here. You are.
I was saying something off air. I was like, okay, I know I talked about yelling, not liking yelling, but you see, I believe in, I really believe in flogging, but you have to do it. You have to use wisdom.
Yeah,
to
moderate.
do
Exactly.
it. Do you understand? But I
can't.
cannot say that I will give birth to a child that I will not flog. Why? But
No,
why?
I think the method I probably would use is this. After I flog, of course, there's no how you do it. The child will chop flogging, but then it will be a kind of flogging that next time the child does something bad, I say, "Do you want me to beat you?"
Again?
Just by saying that, the child say,
again.
no.
Okay, no. Then
Correct.
stop that.
Let's take this message we have on WhatsApp. Okay, this is still from Kauna Joseph. He had to reiterate his point again. He said, "This is still Kauna Joseph. What I mean by setting a clear boundary means establishing clear rules and expectation, which help children to learn what is expected of them. Make sure to communicate these rules in a way your child can understand. Practicing active listening helps the child feel heard and understood. When your child misbehaves, listen to their perspective and validate their feelings." I agree. You can also you can also use positive reinforcement to encourage good behavior by rewarding it. Use praise, stickers, or small treats to encourage positive behavior. So it's like when you say that, okay, Junior, when you pass your exam, I'm going to get you a bicycle. Stuff like that. Just encourage good behavior so that the child will read and the child will pass. Thank you so much, Kauna Joseph, for messaging again. This is coming from our guy Friso, and he says, "Hola, Benkan Noel."
Hello, Friso. How you doing, my man?
He said, "I seriously think this question is for the parents listening to this, but for a child's perspective, I think there is no best way specifically, because what works for this might not work for that. Growing up, the only punishment that's not welcome in my family is to starve a child. Before you adopt a punishment for your child, you need to know and understand the kind of child you are raising or you are dealing with now, and be able to adopt the most suited punishment consciously. To me, I genuinely think it's fine to cane the child. Even the Bible preached caning. But afterwards, ensure you draw him or her near later to console them and talk sense to their head, with love being the foundation. Then proceed to correcting them. Let them not just hear you love them, but show you love them, and that's why you've given them a punishment. May God help the parents in Jesus' name." And that's coming from Free Soul.
Thank you.
I think I've seen my sister do this. When she flogs my niece, she'll call her and say, "Do you know why I flogged you?" And then she'll be like, no. I'm like, "You don't know why I flogged? Think. Why do you think I flogged you?" She's like, "It's because I did not do this." She'll be like, "Yes, that's why I flogged you. So please don't do it again." So this is what Free Soul is trying to talk about. So it's like you flog them, but then again you call them and correct them.
I think there's
with
a particular adage that say, now the same teeth when lion they use the bite the picking and they play with
drum close.
True that. So you use one hand and use the other hand and draw the child.
One thing that is very, very funny, I remember it now, is parents, parenting is something. People who are parents, I salute you guys. You know how there's a mental thing between father and mother, where the father leaves the beating to the mother so that the children can like the father. You know that thing?
Yeah.
So the mother does the beating. So any small thing, they're gonna report to the father. Daddy, mommy beats me. But anyway,
before as we round up, I still want to say that even though back in those days they used to beat us and it has helped, most of us to be who we are today, to be disciplined, to be well-mannered, I would still like to say that it also had some negative effects. All those beating, all those scolding, all those shouting.
I feel like Nigerian children need therapy.
Yeah.
My sister, no
To be
be
very
lying.
sincere, I'm sure a lot of people walking on the streets right now who grew up like in Nigeria, in a Nigeria household, they definitely do.
It
telling
happens
you.
to me. Do you know till date if I'm sleeping, no matter how I don't think I sleep. How do they call it now?
Deep.
If you yell, I'm getting up.
You're getting up.
I know that kind of thing. Because see, in the afternoon, if somebody walks into the house today and maybe just walks into my room or something, I have to wake up. Because my dad had this thing where in the morning, say maybe because I don't sleep at night usually. So my dad just walked into the room, say at 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning, and he sees me on my bed. Oh my God, I am the lamb of sacrifice.
Yes.
You hear words that would make your spirit say, "Oh my brother,
Is
wait
it
till
not
happen."
sleep? I sleep.
No be sleep.
So since we're around, let's just quickly touch on what ways parents can also discipline their children minus yelling, minus hitting them. What are those ways?
I would like to buttress on the point our first caller made, and he said something about being opened. As the parent, you really have to be open to your children. Let your children know that you are not as perfect. You too, you are not perfect. Let them know that you yourself as a parent, you are not perfect. You too, you make mistakes. But the reason why you're correcting them is because you have made mistakes in the past and you have seen the repercussion of those mistakes and you don't want them to make the same mistake. And also being a good role model. As a parent, you have to be a good. You cannot be beating your wife.
Exactly.
Or be a drunkard or be a thief, and you expect your children now to
respect
be good.
you or be good.
They say children learn from watching.
Yes.
Instead of when you tell them, they'll rather learn from watching.
What you are
what they
doing.
see you do,
Exactly.
yeah.
And he made a third point, and he said body language, which I think is really good. Let your children understand
Body
body language. You don't need to, most especially when you're in public. Imagine you being in public now and you want to tell your child to stop. Do you have to really shout?
Exactly.
You can just really look at your child and you already get
Come
the.
on,
Just leave those guys, that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
just with the eyes, just look at them.
And also what Friso said, about he doesn't mind beating, but instead of just beating alone, you really need to tell the child, okay, this is exactly what you have done,
Yes.
and this is how you should have done it. This is how you can do it better, so
Yes.
that next time.
And even it said something about rewarding. Many parents, they castigate or chastise the child every time he does something wrong, but they never even reward him whenever he does the right
something
thing. So it might not be every time overdoing the good to make them spoiled, but at least
It's just about the balance.
exactly
balance.
make them feel like, okay, I did something good. Like Benny was saying, the bicycle thing. Although my mother promised me till today,
You never see him.
I
Don't
never
worry.
see
She will
him.
still buy it. Don't
It
worry.
is on the
Don't
way.
worry. Children's Day is coming. So another thing Cassandra said that really made sense. She talked about deprivation. It's one way to also discipline your child.
Yeah.
If whatever your child likes, it might not even be gadget. It might be as little as chocolates or things, all these
Yes.
snacks. You deprive them, and then you have to tell them that, okay, if you do this, I'm going to get it for you. And then all those little discipline here and there. So yeah, but in all, for me, what I would say is everything is about balance.
Yeah.
If you don't discipline your child, the child might end up becoming something else in the society. But then it's all about balance. Whether you are flogging, but yelling is not part of it for me at all. Whether you are flogging, please in moderate proportion. And I think there was someone who said, I think it was Friso or something. He said depending on the child you are raising.
Yes.
Now you born the picking, you're picking.
Pass
You
any
know,
other person.
there are some people that they have this kind of portable behavior. You know how to.
Yes, how to handle
And,
them.
know
and
how
it's
to
the-
handle them.
Just because you gave birth to 3 kids doesn't mean the 3 of them will behave the same way, and doesn't mean you have to
Exactly.
punish the 3 of them the
Exactly.
same,
Same
way.
way.
You might use different punishments
differ.
for
But firstborns they suffer. Hey, firstborns they
I
suffer.
mean, now them parents they use the learn.
And,
how to,
and then
train
yeah, like-
not even just that one. That one's FD, but then the siblings they punish the firstborn so that the siblings can learn.
Yeah, like the sacrificial lamb.
That's it. Oh Lord.
But yeah, we've had a really very, very interesting conversation this afternoon, and we hope that you've picked one or two. And this conversation for me, honestly, I can't wait for that time where I'll be a parent because I want to see what I'll do.
Then I do throwback Thursday.
I'm telling you. But I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's part of the Lifestyle Lounge today. The Lifestyle Lounge will continue again on Monday. We'll come back next week with great conversations for you. You know how we do it every time here when we come up at Flow FM 92.7. 3:55 will bring you the weather report. The Flow Rider Show still continues. So please don't touch your dial.
Viva J Records.